Hello there. Today I want to talk to you about margins in life and how important it is that you think about this concept quite often, because it affects everything. And way more than just you, it affects your relationship building skills as well. So let's talk about a few examples, what I mean when I say margins in life. First of all, it is creating space to make remarkable happen, where you create margins around your project so you can seize an opportunity when they come. So basically you can do more in an unexpected angle, when you're delighted to see, well, we could do this instead, we could do that instead, and use it while it's there, because you might see a game window here that here it's gone. So do and weave in margins in. And this is scary business, because it also means that we need to prioritize, saying which is my key projects right now, for myself and for my clients. Dare to choose and create that space. Thing is, if you don't have the luxury problem of choosing to do extra work for something that really matters, you can just do boring normal work inside that space that you created. But it's easier to fight for it ahead of time versus noticing that you're lagging behind and then trying to make space for it. The other thing I want to talk about margin is, of course, margins in time. When you say, if you book a meeting with someone, ask yourself, how important is this for the change we're here to make, or for myself, whatever it is that eventually makes this person VIP for you or something, and add margin there. Rarely should you add less than 8 minutes margin to anything, because if you do, you're either meeting the wrong people, so it's not a valuable enough meeting for you, or you're sending them another signal that it's not worthwhile for you to keep on time. So 8 minutes, it's a pretty precise number, right? And it's good to having a exact number to aim for. But if it's a really important meeting, make 30 minutes ahead of it and do your work while you're waiting near that place. Don't show up earlier than 8 minutes if it's a client or something, because then you're going to stress them. Then you're going to make them feel that they're not on time, even if they are on time. So don't show up. When I talk about margin, I'm ensuring that you can show up with your whole self by being prepared. Oh, there's something, a speed bump on the road towards where you're going. So perhaps plan to work at a cafe in the local corner of her office or something like. Weave in margin in all you do. And once again, you're not going to be bored and not having things to do. There's plenty of things you can use that time with. But learn to prioritize. Where are you investing your effort every day? Learn to look ahead and weave in those margins so you can seize an opportunity. And likewise, after a VIP meeting, don't cut yourself short there. Leave margins too, in case. Quite often I go for a meeting for X minutes, and then the host expands it because they like where it's going. They want more of it. And if I then cut myself short and I had to have head into another meeting, just when they're starting to talk about the really important matter and the momentum is building up, it's nice to have that margin and redirect where I use it, so I can stay present in the current coaching call or whatever I'm in right now. So ask yourself, how much margin do you have in life? Pretty scary, right, when you think about it, how much is back to back to back, and how often that turns us in reactive mode. Not proactive, but reacting to the calendar, reacting to things. That's why I think margin is important. And then the third thing I want to say about it is, something magical happens with the relationship with other people when we are at peace, where we are with our margin. And once again, we can always reprioritize. We can always say no. we shouldn't give it away to other people, but if you have margin for something and suddenly you're running late and you have a phone call with another client while you're late and stressing for that other thing, you're affecting that relationship too. Or you're out of margin and you're showing up late to a meeting that was really critical for the success of whatever cause you're here to change. You made that happen by not ensuring you were there, fully present, fully focused. But it's also the same with, I have a 4-year-old at home, and if I don't have margin for going to kindergarten, I can easily push my stress on her. And of course, things happen then. So instead say, well, if we come early, we could play a bit before going in, or you can always find a way. So weave in a few minutes that you rather arrive early and then you figure out what you should use it, versus setting that as a default, that status quo is you're on time. Of course, you do have with kids, you have to be present. It's not always good to have too much margin there too. Likewise with yourself. Know when having margin in a shopping mall isn't so good for your previous pattern or habits. So it's good to also think about, don't position yourself in front of the chocolate factory if you don't like chocolate. Or myself, I'm a geek, so the computer store is a bad place for me to just use my few minutes while I'm waiting for a meeting. So no, self-awareness, of course, but I rather having the luxury problem of being in the computer store, having to fight my urges of not buying things I don't need, and for showing up with my full self at my peak performance with the work that matters, versus once again, I own the risk by showing up late and pushing my stress on someone else. So margins is important. That will not happen automatically, but you right now, today, is in a golden opportunity to change it. Because right now, I can guarantee you that 3-4 weeks from now, your calendar has space in it that you can dedicate for your margin, that's going to help you clarify where are you investing your effort and which projects are really worthwhile for you. Do that work right now. After looking at this, do put margins in your calendar. And don't try to do it today. Don't try to change the structure if you can't. But looking ahead 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you have room for margin. Put it in now, and then you fight for it. And I'm not saying you have to not remove them, because sure, you will have to reprioritize. But right now it's easy. It's almost free to put them in there. And then it's easier to fight for that margin later. And once again, not just do that for your top projects, but do that for life. As I just mentioned, kindergarten, if that's working perfect, smooth, everything's good, perhaps you don't need that much margin there. But other things that might not work that smooth. Say, well, what if I should head home a bit earlier? What if I should start out this a bit earlier? Whatever process what if you add some margin to it? So you could be with peace with having a few bumps on the road and stay on target, versus a small hiccup turns into a big thing and suddenly you have a fight about something that's, you're running late, but you could have lived with it if you zoom out a bit. So, thank you for stopping by, my friend. Take care of yourself. Have a good one.